Hello, Andrea. Hello, Enrico. First of all, congratulations on Luca. It's such a beautiful movie. It's a movie based on a true story of you, Enrico, and your friend whose name is Alberto in real life. Are you guys still friends?
Yes, yeah, we are still friends, especially now. We would lose touch here and there. Interestingly, he became an Air Force pilot in the Italian Air Force. And so he had a wonderful career and doing very obviously very daring things. And yeah, we would touch base every once in a while. He was in Texas flying planes for a while, so he would come visit me here. Now we are about to go visit him because we're going to travel for a few days to Italy for the movie. So I'm looking forward to hanging out, and we are making this a wonderful excuse to jump in the Ligurian Sea together again, for one more time. And so I'm looking forward to hanging out. But yeah, he lives in Rome, and we keep in touch now. He certainly was helpful. He even helped sometimes a couple of years back the story of this movie because I wanted to talk to him about his experience of our friendship. But yeah, it's been wonderful to get kind of even more time now. He's very excited. He hasn't seen the movie yet, but he's very excited.
Nope, just you. Good.
How do you guys get the exact look and feel of Italy for the movie?
Yeah, the team worked so hard to do that. I mean, I think one of the things that's so interesting about CG is that, everything you have to create. And on one hand, that's quite a challenge because it's just so much. But on the other hand, it gives you that ability to create every detail exactly how you want it. And so I think that sense of authenticity of place is so important. I think in this film, Porto Rosso unto itself is sort of a character in the film, and Enrico has this beautiful style. We, saw it early on in his short film La Luna, and he wanted to bring that sensibility here, which our team was really excited about. So it was a kind of an interesting, cool, double exciting combination of capturing that style, but also Italy. And so, we really leaned into talking to Enrico, talking to other folks from Italy. We sent our teams over to Italy, our art directors and our production designer, as well as our, director of camera and lighting. And, we're like the strange tourists that people think, what is going on with those people? Because we're taking pictures of peeling stucco in the corner of a building, and how the cobblestones and how the shutters are connecting to the windows. And so really it becomes, and the lighting and how it's reflecting on the water, and what color is the water? It's different, all these different places. The beach is pebbles, it's not sand. Getting all of those kinds of details are important. So having them go there was just wonderful because it gave them their own perspective on how to capture that space. And so then, like I said, you come back and it becomes sort of the collective challenge of finding the style and figuring out which details to emphasize.
Promise you tell me everything you see. Sorry.
It is a movie about friendship, about growing up, but it is also a movie about acceptance of who you are or what you are.
Yeah, they felt immediately connected to what friends do, because I think I was very focused on the friendship. And then this wonderful theme can expand a little bit with what do friends do for each other. And then it became clear that there's this huge amount of acceptance, seeing each other, appreciating each other that we do as friends. And the true friends are the ones who are really never like, am I too much? I'm like, no, it's okay.
Espresso.
So it really, because we started really asking ourselves what do friendships do for us, it started expanding. And when we started talking about insecurity, it was a wonderful discovery that you're like, well, we have so many voices in our head about anxiety and fear that in some way friends are actually see what we can do or see who we are before we do, because we're such harsh critics of ourselves often. So that is what started expanding it. And of course, we always had built in this metaphor of sea monsterness as the many ways we just don't feel at home in ourselves, or we feel different, we feel like we don't fit in, which felt true of that age. And curiosity, that was the other thing that, like, when you're curious about each other, you're also bridging differences. So those were things that they developed and became in focus, but they were kind of part of the DNA. And then you start expanding and really trying to dig deeper. It's a lot of our process in story. And yeah, it was so interesting how I didn't have it all. I had the pieces in the beginning.
How did you guys pull it off? How do you manage to make a full movie with hundreds of people working entirely from home?
Yeah, I mean, the production process is about 5 years, and we spend the very beginning of that really sorting out the story, especially. That's the thing that always takes the most work, the most revision, the most blood, sweat, and tears. But right at the point we had kind of locked the story and we were about to launch into full shot production, that's when the pandemic hit and when we had to work from home. And I mean, none of us knew what this was, how long this was going to last. I mean, I've said, we're in our offices thinking, and I remember thinking, should I bring my plant home that's on my desk? Because and who knew that we wouldn't even ever go back? We still haven't gone back to our offices. So, the first challenge was to make sure we could record our actors and work from home. And luckily our computers were set up in a way that we could do that. And with our actors, luckily they were willing to be so, roll up their sleeves and be scrappy and flexible, because we sent them iPads and microphones and they recorded in closets and all sorts of other things. And they had to be their own technicians, and it was pretty crazy. Everything was tricky, took a little longer, but we managed to do it. And the team really rallied. And I think for us, in some ways, we were happy and grateful to be able to continue working. And we appreciated having sort of a shared goal and project to kind of keep us motivated and keep us connected to each other. So I built a lot of, camaraderie, and, we were happy to visit Porto Rosso, at least in our computers. So
Porto Rosso.
Porto Rosso. Porto Rosso.
Porto Rosso.
I want to know, how was the process of casting the voices for the movie?
It was really interesting because we knew we wanted to work with kids from day one, right? Of course we did. And casting definitely required a lot of time. It was a journey also to figure out exactly what kind of kid. At first, we weren't sure, should everybody have an accent? So there was a linguistic journey. But even more importantly, I felt like finding kids that really embodied their part. Jack Dylan Grazer is a skateboarder. He's doing crazy flips on his skateboard. He's dragging his friends into it, super confident, and for sure you can sense he's going to drag you into some adventure if you follow him.
Walking is just like swimming. Like, it's the same thing, but with no fins or tail. And also there's no water, but otherwise it's like the exact same.
And Jacob Tremblay as Luca, such innocence, a sense of earnestness, but like a serious drive behind him. He's such an amazing performer. You can sense this wonderful soul he has through it. I just think what he did with Luca is so wonderful. I mean, so many people have told me, like, I want to adopt Luca. He's so endearing, and a lot of it is that voice.
Silenzio Bruno! Silenzio Bruno!
And then Emma, we listened to so many kids, and actually she had never done anything major, and she's local. And she blew us away with her joy. She the first time she met me, she was like, nice to meet you. You're like, she was chuckling. She couldn't help chuckling. And she had this wonderful texture. She has a texture to her voice.
You're not gonna catch me! Oh, guys, look! Underdogs forever!
So yeah, an interesting, an amazing process. You're with them, you're acting with them. As a director, it was wonderful. A lot to learn. And a lot very interactive. With kids, you're in there with them, and you're giving a lot of fun interaction.